Yo guys, what's up? So, thank you first of all for all the response to one of my last videos that was about basically like merit-based stuff actually. This was the main focus for me, but I think I didn't really explain myself well. Although the video got a lot of positive feedback, there was also some critical feedback. Some of it was legit, some of it was also complete bullcrap, but that's I guess normal in the internet. One guy though, Dr.Bopz, said,
"Bro, it's okay to have fun sometimes. This isn't a science experiment, it's art. Telling people to stay home and basically not make music unless they are some kind of super pioneers is like telling people not to skate unless they are the next Tony Hawk or Rodney Mullen. So confused as what is your intent with this message."
So, this video where he commented was like me basically saying the problem with high-tech music is that it's very stale and that a lot of the people who garner a lot of attention and success, that they are not really on the forefront of innovation in any sense. And that's, in my opinion, still a valid statement. That was my point. So let's go through what he said, and I'm going to basically respond to that. First of all, he says, "Bro, it's okay to have fun sometimes. This isn't a science experiment, it's art." And while I agree with the statement that it's okay to have fun, I actually would also agree to the statement that art is the greatest cultural science project that humanity has ever undertaken, basically, in my opinion. So that's one thing. To what he says about that I would attack beginners, that was absolutely not my intent with the video, to be frank with you. My intent was completely different, and this is what I want to clear up in this video. So, I am the last person who does not support newcomers. I am a big supporter of newcomers since always. Like, there was a time when Killer Tech, nobody knew him. I was writing about him in my magazine back then, for example, and was showcasing the new prodigies of Brazil in this article, and soon after he became what he became, very successful in terms of communication and marketing, in my opinion. Music is a different question. I'm not going to talk about this in this video. I'm the last person to not support beginners because I was a beginner once as everybody else. I'm not some Mozart guy who was like, writing his first symphony with 4 years old. I'm actually a visual artist, or like come from that field. This is what I did before I was doing music, very, very, very obsessively, as well as I do everything in my life. And back then I started at zero. When I was 20 years old, I got my first computer from my mother, and then I started to produce music with it. A little bit before that, and some university-related stuff, I was starting to actually produce music, but not with my own machine. So I was starting at absolute zero with zero education, nobody helping me, literally. And also, fighting an uphill battle, which I sometimes feel I'm still fighting, but like, fighting an uphill battle to get the respect and recognition that I deserve, which took literally all the world to respond before my peers around me responded favorably to my music. I'm the last person who would not support beginners of any technical or artistical ability as well. It doesn't matter how good you are, that's not the problem. The problem is if there is not an equilibrium in, basically quality and success. So what I'm talking about is our culture still merit-based? Or is it still as merit-based as it once was? Or was it ever merit-based? That's another question. What do you think? Was the psytrance community ever really merit-based? In my opinion, yes, it was. Like in the early 2000s, 2010s, I believe that it was much more merit-based because there was the advent of social media didn't happen yet, so that's a big factor coming in there. This is the major problem. Of course, it doesn't matter what skill level you are. And the people that I listen to, by the way, in the music are not bloody beginners. They are not. So I think then there's also a different kind of application of standards there. If you're a musician for 10 years, then you ought to push yourself. The problem is many people don't even attempt that. They try to go with the more easy route. So basically, what is accepted, what is the most viable and sellable, and what is a good way of making yourself a product, basically. Because then you become more bookable. Oxyduxy is more bookable than Tchaikovsky, maybe. Or it's a bad example, but the more schematic, I'm not having some ketchup in my face. The more schematic, the more easy you will become to book. The less schematic, the less easy you will become to book in our culture, and that's really sad in my opinion. It should be the opposite way around. But to make it very clear, as my main response to Dr.Bopz, and yeah, I really have to say that I appreciate his feedback, and I think it's valid. It's a very valid point, and that was not against any, lower level producers or people that attempt to produce. I always supported those people greatly, and not the least with building up a whole platform to support them with so much free content and workshops and learning videos, etc. I'm talking about instinct learning. So I was ripping myself a third one just to help people, and still any producer that contacts me, I will help them. And if I see a new prodigy in the scene or some highly talented person, by the way, I'm almost always correct in my assumption. If I see somebody and I'm saying this guy, he's going to make it, then most of the times they are making it. That's how accurate also those articles back then were, when I was describing who is probably breaking through in Brazil before they broke through and then they broke through. In which way that is connected or not, that's another thing, and can be decided by yourself. But nevertheless, that's a big point. That was not against anyone, of course, and especially not against beginners. This is against bookers and against basically the not merit-based system that psytrance is currently in, where it shouldn't be. You shouldn't be playing on Boom Festival because of your connections. You should be playing there because of your merit. And when I look at those festivals, I don't really see it. And I also don't see that the best people are the most successful. I see that the people that are the best in social media activities are the best, which is really, really weird. Nobody would want that. Or do you want that? Because that lowers the quality and lowers the advancement, lowers the evolution of our beloved culture and music. And everything is coming from the music. So if the music goes downhill, everything else will follow. If the music is commercialized, the culture will follow. If the music is the opposite of that, then the culture will follow that as well. Yeah, that's basically it. Let's keep it short and concise. I am the biggest supporter of beginners, so it's quite funny of Dr.Bopz to say that and to pick out of a 10-minute video, although it's valid what he says and he's packaging it in the right way, I would say. He's picking out one sentence that also comes from my German heritage. I'm not a native English speaker.
So bleib doch zu Hause, du alte Scheiße, or something like that.
That's a German thing, and that means stay at home. That doesn't necessarily mean that you should stay at home. That was graphic language, but I would wish for a more merit-based system in our culture. That's all. So now the ball is in your ballpark again. That was a weird one, I guess. But you can now respond again, Dr.Bopz or whoever else. I had, as I said, a couple of really, really great positive feedback. But I'm not only here to receive positive feedback and to get only that stuff. I want to have an honest discussion and conversation about this, and valid criticism of what I'm saying is more than welcome. If it's not derogatory, insulting, or plain stupid, or uninformed or uneducated, because I had some of that as well, where people, they don't know, obviously, for what I'm doing or what I did, they don't know my work, and then, they have weird assessments of the situation. So they maybe should look into it first before they are saying something. In the end, it's all subjective. Music is subjective. Anyway, that's about it. If you like this video, same story as last time, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel, and you can respond and give me feedback about that. If you didn't like it, hit that dislike button, but I rather prefer the like button, just saying. And also subscribe to the channel, of course, and pop a comment down below, because we should talk about all those things, just, as a community. Just talking about the shit that is, concerning all of us artists, and in the end, also all of the people that really like this community and want to support it and want to nurture it and want to have it staying for a long time, because that's a singular event in history that will at some point be over or will be replaced by another culture. So we should cherish what we have at the moment, actually. I think that's a good way to end the video, and I see you guys in the next one. Booyakasha!